What's going on, everybody? This is Zach here with another DFS video. Today is Monday, July 13th. Hope everybody had a really good weekend this past weekend. We just finished up the Workday charity event for golf, and so that is the main intent of this video. Just kind of give a quick recap of how I did with the players that I used in my lineups. If you're new here, this is your first time seeing me. I've been playing DFS for about 7 years now. Used to make videos, kind of fell out of it, but once this whole quarantine, COVID lockdown thing started, I decided I want to get back into making some more videos and more content. So I'm just really trying to stay consistent with that. So the intent of this video, again, just to recap of what we did over the weekend. It was a very successful weekend, as you can tell by the title. Won about 10K, which is really huge for golf for me. And like I said, the main purpose of, what I've said in my past videos, the main kind of goal that I'm trying to do here is I'm not a person who uses, an optimizer and max enters 150 different lineups. So for me, my content's more geared to providing players who I feel you can play like in single entry contest and kind of lower that player pool rather than trying to explain exposures for every single player. I don't find value in that just for my style. So again, I made a video on this PGA contest, put it up last week, and you'll see here every player I mentioned in that video I used in my lineups. I think I only had 11 or 12 total players that I went over, and you'll see also on my Twitter page I gave out my 3 locks that I use in every single contest, kind of my core to build around, that being Victor Hovland, Gary Woodland, and Ian Poulter, who Hovland finished 3rd, Poulter and Woodland both finished T5, so really solid results for that core lineup, which really helped me here. So yeah, what I have on my screen, just to go ahead and get started, I built 4 lineups, which is a lot for me actually. But again, I didn't use an optimizer. They're all kind of manually built for me and just what made the most sense and just kind of players I like the most or whatever. So starting out with this lineup, you'll see here on the left. So this lineup, we did have JT in there, which was a crazy finish between him and Morikawa. That was like one of the most intense things I've probably ever watched, was the ending of that Workday charity event. I actually needed Morikawa to win to get me an extra, I think it was 2 to 3K in winnings. I was in a single entry $33 contest, and I was in 2nd place. The leader had JT, I had Morikawa. So if Morikawa won, then that would, lower JT by 10 points because of the finishing position. And that would, ultimately catapult me to the top of that single entry contest, which happened. So I love Colin Morikawa right now. Appreciate you making that crazy 25-foot birdie after JT sank that 50-foot putt. Just that whole ending was super intense. I was going to have a heart attack that entire playoff round and the whole ending. But yeah, crazy entertaining golf tournament. I'm looking forward again to Memorial this weekend. But yeah, back to the recap. So lineup here, we use Justin Thomas, Hovland, who again I use in every lineup, Woodland and Poulter, who I also use in every lineup, Max Homa, and Henrik Norlander. So I know Norlander was like under 3% owned in majority of the contests I entered. I really liked Norlander from the beginning. As I mentioned in my prior, kind of going over my player pool video last week, I said my core was always going to be Hovland, Woodland, and Poulter. Then I would use one of 3 or 4 value plays in every single lineup. So Norlander just happened to be in this one. Max Homa unfortunately missed the cut. He was at -1. The cut line moved to -2 late, but he just missed the cut. But he looked okay. So he scored enough points, have this lineup do pretty well. Won $345 off this one. Again, just really Hovland, Woodland, and Poulter were the main core to build around for me. And Poulter actually sank. So the way it worked out, right? Woodland was at -13, and Poulter was at -11 under. Woodland actually bogeyed his last hole, so that dropped his score to 12 under. But it didn't change his finishing position. And so Poulter, all he had to do was birdie the last hole. I think it was birdie hole 18 to finish off his round, and that would take him from like a T, I want to say it was T10, tied at 11 under, and it would move him up to T5 with a 12 under. So he had like, I think it was like a 18 or 20 foot putt he had to make birdie on, and he actually sank it. His putter was just on fire this weekend. So huge shout out to Ian Poulter. Poulter came in like under 10% owned for majority of my contests as well. So that was a real key part of a lot of my lineups. Also was Ian Poulter doing really well, and great job by Poulter for his putter. But yeah, this one scored a total point total of 553 points. Again, cashing 345. Second lineup we're going to go over is the one in the middle there. So that one, the same core: Hovland, Woodland, Poulter. The cheap value play I used was Carlos Ortiz. Ortiz actually did make the cut. Didn't do so well over the weekend though, but still got a pretty decent score of 58. I did use Joel Dahman in this lineup, and as you can see, just did terrible. I'm pretty sure he was dead last or close to dead last, maybe behind Chase Koepka. But Dahman just looked awful. Finished, I think, at plus 13 or plus 14. Sorry, take a sip of this frozen lemonade from Chick-fil-A. But yeah, Joel Dahman was just god terrible, but he was very popular, which was a little surprising for me. I knew he was getting some projections and some ownership, but I didn't think he would be as popular as he was. I think he's like hovering around 15 to 18% in a lot of the lineups I saw. But yeah, finishing with a 7.5, just really terrible. But then I also had Patrick Cantlay in this lineup. Cantlay finished off Sunday, I think, going 7 or almost 8 under on the day, just really launching his final standing to, I think he got like a top 10, maybe top 11 finish, but just really catching fire that last day on Sunday. So that's something maybe to look out for this upcoming Memorial Weekend tournament. But that was that lineup there. Lineup on the right is actually the one I liked the most going into the weekend. I felt it was the most balanced for me, which is what I try to do. So again, same core of Hovland, Woodland, and Poulter. This one did have Ricky Fowler in there at 9K, who looked really good. And we also had Patrick Reed, who I think kind of stumbled over the weekend as well, but he looked really good going into the weekend, making the cut pretty easily. But I think he ended up going +2 or +3 on Saturday or something like that. Didn't end up so well, but was good enough to help this lineup. And then the cheap value play I used was Matthew Neesmith. He started off hot, I think, Thursday, and then kind of just really didn't do so well on Friday. Ended up missing the cut. But this lineup scored 496.5 and then won me $222. So before we get into the really big winner lineup, please just hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Right now, like I said, I'm really trying to be more consistent with all these DFS videos, mainly geared toward creating, 1, 2, 3, max 4 or 5 lineups, and just really kind of providing a shortened player pool. I think there's value in that for me personally. Again, that's more my style. There's nothing wrong with playing optimizers and doing max enter. That's just not something I do right now. But yeah, if you find value in that, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. And also follow me on Twitter. It's at one spelled out ONE, One Shot DFS. I provide some more content on there. I did provide my core kind of build with Hovland, Poulter, and Woodland on there before last week's contest. So I'll be doing that again for this weekend for the Memorial. Hopefully we can get a repeat performance of this past weekend. But yeah, here we go. Diving into the big winner. As you can see here, ignore this League of Legends lineup that didn't do well for me yesterday. But on the left here, you see winning $9,100 was the top lineup for me with a score of 614.5. So you'll see again the same core in there. We have Hovland, Woodland, and Poulter. Ricky Fowler I used in this one as well. Did have the champ of Colin Morikawa thrown in there, and also Henrik Norlander, who I mentioned earlier was the value play for me in this lineup. Yeah, everything just really clicked for this lineup. Morikawa with the amazing start for the first 2 rounds. Didn't do so hot in the 3rd round. I mean, JT and Hovland to make up some of the scoring, but did what he had to do to finish off. Like I said, it's probably one of the most intense one of the probably most intense sporting events I've ever watched. I just started watching golf since the lockdown occurred, just trying to get more familiar with it for DFS purposes, and I've really liked it. I actually started playing golf a little bit now, trying to teach myself and learn more about the game, and I just really enjoy watching these tournaments, especially like last weekend when it's so intense and so exciting, and then you have a playoff atmosphere like that, just crazy intense. But really glad that Colin Morikawa was able to somehow pull off that win in the end. Um, this one did, as you can see, won a total of 9,100. Definitely my biggest golf DFS win for me so far. I've only been playing golf DFS for a couple of months, but I think I'm really starting to get the hang of it. Really liked all the statistics and the data behind it, and the course history and numbers and tee to green, putting, things like that. Just enjoy watching how the players are performing and noticing their strengths and weaknesses of their game. So definitely looking to build off of this win, carrying into the Memorial event this upcoming weekend. Yeah, League of Legends lineup didn't do well yesterday, but I do make content for League of Legends. That's another thing I've really picked up since the lockdown and learning more about it and understanding the DFS perspective of it, so to say. So I do make videos for League of Legends, provide content on my Twitter page as well for that. So if that's interesting to you as well, make sure, again, hit the subscribe, hit the like button. Just want to stay consistent with this channel, provide a lot of good content and good videos for you guys. And yeah, that's all I have for right now. Thanks for checking out this recap video, and look forward to the upcoming videos and content that we have coming up for the Memorial and the return of Tiger Woods this upcoming weekend. Thanks, guys.